It's all right, Sophia. Just rest, and this medicine will help clear it right up.
Really?
Sophia woke up that morning feeling excited because it was going to be a bright and busy day. Sunlight came through her window, birds were singing outside, and the castle felt peaceful and happy. She jumped out of bed, stretched her arms, and walked to the mirror, smiling at her reflection. But the smile slowly faded. Something felt strange on her face. It felt tight and itchy, like tiny ants were walking on her skin. Sophia leaned closer to the mirror, her heart beating faster. Her cheeks looked red, and small bumps had appeared around her nose and forehead. Sophia touched her face gently. "Ow," she whispered. It didn't hurt badly, but it felt uncomfortable and warm. She blinked a few times, wondering if she was still dreaming. She splashed some cool water on her face, hoping it would go away. For a moment, it felt better, but when she looked again, the redness was still there. Sophia's stomach twisted with worry. She had never seen her face like this before. Clover hopped into the room and landed softly on the floor. He looked up at Sophia and tilted his head. Sophia tried to smile, but it came out weak. "Something is wrong, Clover," she said softly. "My face feels funny." Clover hopped closer and sniffed the air, then looked at her face carefully. He twitched his nose and made a small concerned sound. Sophia sighed and sat on the edge of her bed. She thought about the day ahead. She was supposed to meet her friends, walk in the garden, and help prepare for a small celebration in the castle. But now she felt nervous. What if everyone stared at her? What if they asked questions she couldn't answer? She gently rubbed her cheek again, then quickly stopped. It only made the itching worse. Sophia folded her hands in her lap, feeling unsure and scared. She decided to get dressed and go to breakfast, hoping someone would know what to do. As she walked through the hallway, she felt every step echo with her thoughts. What if it gets worse? She wondered. What if I did something wrong? She tried to remember what she ate or touched the day before. She remembered playing in the garden, touching flowers, and trying a new cream she found in her room. Her eyes widened slightly. Could it be that? She whispered to herself. At the breakfast table, the warm smell of food usually made Sophia happy, but today she barely noticed it. She sat down quietly. Amber looked up at her and immediately noticed her face. "Sophia, are you okay?" she asked, her voice gentle but surprised. James leaned closer, his eyebrows raised. Sophia felt her cheeks grow warmer, and not just from the allergy. I think something is wrong with my face," Sophia said softly. "It feels itchy and looks red." Amber stood up and looked more closely, but she did not look angry or mean. She looked worried. "It does look different," Amber said carefully. "Does it hurt?" Sophia shook her head. "Not really. It just feels strange." Sophia felt tears pushing behind her eyes. She didn't want to cry, but she felt overwhelmed. "What if it doesn't go away?" she asked quietly. "What if everyone keeps staring?" Clover hopped onto the table and gently placed a paw near Sophia's hand, as if telling her she was not alone. That small gesture made her feel a little better. Amber took a deep breath. "Let's not panic," she said. "Sometimes our skin reacts to things. It could be an allergy." The word sounded big and scary to Sophia. "Allergy?" she repeated. Amber nodded. "Yes, like when your body doesn't like something it touched or used." Sophia thought again about the new cream. Her heart sank. "I think I used something new yesterday," she admitted. "I didn't know it could do this." James spoke up gently. "It's okay, Sophia. You didn't do anything bad. Sometimes these things just happen." His calm voice helped Sophia breathe a little easier. Still, she kept her head down, feeling embarrassed and worried. She didn't want to go out or see anyone else. After breakfast, Sophia slowly walked back to her room. The itching came and went, and every time it returned, her worry grew. She stood in front of the mirror again, studying her face. The red spots were still there. She imagined people whispering, pointing, or asking too many questions. Her chest felt tight. "Why today?" she whispered. "Why now?" Sophia sat on her bed and hugged her pillow. She felt sad, not because of the allergy alone, but because she felt different. She had always tried to look neat and confident, but now she felt like hiding. Clover hopped onto the pillow and leaned against her. Sophia wrapped an arm around him, finding comfort in his warmth. "I don't want to go outside," Sophia said softly. "I don't want people to see me like this." Clover listened quietly. Sophia closed her eyes for a moment, taking slow breaths. Deep inside, she knew she needed help. Hiding would not make the allergy go away, but asking for help felt hard. After a while, Sophia stood up and wiped her eyes. She looked at herself one more time, not with fear but with honesty. "Something is wrong," she said aloud, "and that's okay. I just need to find out what it is." It was a small step, but it made her feel a little stronger. With Clover by her side, Sophia walked toward the door. She didn't know how long the allergy would last or what the day would bring. But one thing was clear: this was only the beginning. A day that started with excitement had turned into worry and uncertainty. Still, somewhere deep in her heart, Sophia hoped that she would learn something important from this moment, even if it felt uncomfortable and scary right now. Sophia woke up slowly, feeling a strange tightness on her face. When she touched her cheek, it felt warm and a little itchy. She walked carefully to the mirror and looked closely. Her cheeks were red, her skin looked bumpy, and her eyes seemed slightly puffy. Sophia's heart beat faster. She had never seen her face look like this before. For a moment she felt scared and confused. She gently pressed her skin, hoping it would go away, but it didn't. The itching grew stronger, and her eyes started to feel watery. She took a deep breath and tried to stay calm. Sophia reminded herself that feeling scared would not help. She washed her face with cool water, hoping it would feel better. The water helped a little, but the redness stayed. Clover hopped into the room and looked up at her with concern. Sophia smiled weakly at him and whispered that she felt strange today. Clover made a soft sound as if he understood and stayed close to her side. His presence made her feel less alone. Sophia got dressed slowly, choosing a soft dress that would not touch her face too much. As she walked down the hallway, she felt nervous about what others might say when they saw her. She wondered if they would stare or ask too many questions. Her hands shook slightly, but she kept walking. She reminded herself that she was still the same person inside, even if her face looked different today. When Sophia reached the breakfast room, she saw familiar faces. The moment they noticed her, their expressions changed from cheerful to worried. Someone gently asked if she was feeling okay. Sophia nodded but admitted that her face felt itchy and uncomfortable. She tried to smile, but it was hard. The redness on her cheeks felt hot, and she wanted to hide. Clover hopped onto the table and stayed near her, making her feel a little braver. Sophia sat down and tried to eat, but she did not feel hungry. Her face felt tight, and every small itch made her want to scratch. She remembered that scratching could make things worse, so she kept her hands folded in her lap. She focused on slow breathing, just like she had learned before when she felt nervous. In and out slowly. It helped her calm her mind, even though her skin still bothered her. After breakfast, Sophia decided it was best to rest and find out what was happening. She walked to a quiet room where the light was soft and the air felt cool. She sat near the window and closed her eyes for a moment. She tried to remember if she had eaten something new, touched a new flower, or used something different on her skin. Her mind searched through yesterday's memories. She remembered playing in the garden, touching colorful plants, and trying a new scented soap. She wondered if one of those things had caused this reaction. As she sat quietly, the itching became stronger. Sophia clenched her fists gently to stop herself from scratching. She felt tears form in her eyes, not only because of the discomfort but because she felt frustrated. She did not like feeling out of control of her own body. She wished her face could go back to normal quickly. Clover noticed her sadness and hopped onto her lap, placing his tiny paw on her arm. Sophia smiled softly and stroked his fur. It reminded her that she was not alone and that feelings like this would pass. Later, Sophia walked slowly through the garden, keeping her head slightly down. The fresh air felt soothing on her skin. She avoided touching her face and focused on the sound of birds and the gentle movement of leaves. Being outside helped her feel calmer. She realized that even when something uncomfortable happens, she can still find small moments of peace. Sophia met a few friends who spoke kindly to her. They told her she was still beautiful and that face problems can happen to anyone. Hearing these words made her feel stronger. She realized that people cared more about how she felt than how she looked. That thought warmed her heart. As the day went on, Sophia became more aware of her body. She noticed how certain movements made her face feel tighter and how cool air helped soothe it. She learned to move slowly, to be gentle with herself. This experience taught her patience. She understood that healing takes time and that listening to her body was important. In the afternoon, Sophia rested again, lying down with a soft cloth gently placed on her face. She felt tired, but her mind was calmer than before. She thought about how quickly she had felt afraid in the morning and how now she felt more accepting. The redness was still there, but her fear was smaller. She felt proud of herself for staying calm and not giving in to panic. Before the day ended, Sophia looked at herself in the mirror again. Her face was still red, but she looked into her own eyes and smiled gently. She whispered that it was okay and that this was only temporary. She promised herself to be patient and kind to her body. Clover hopped beside her and she laughed softly. Sofia went to bed that night feeling uncomfortable but hopeful. She knew that tomorrow might bring answers and relief. As she closed her eyes, she felt grateful for the kindness around her and the strength growing inside her. Even with an itchy, red face, she had learned something important today. She could face discomfort with courage, calm, and self-kindness. Sofia woke up in the morning feeling a little better than the night before, but when she gently touched her face, she still felt the rough, itchy patches on her cheeks and forehead. She slowly walked to the mirror, hoping the redness had gone away, but it was still there. It did not hurt much, but it made her uncomfortable and worried. She took a deep breath and reminded herself to stay calm. She knew getting upset would not help her skin heal faster. As she came down for breakfast, everyone noticed her quiet mood. Usually, Sofia would smile and talk happily, but today she sat silently, staring at her plate. Amber looked at her carefully and said softly, "Sofia, you don't have to hide your face. We care about you the same way." Sofia smiled weakly, but inside she still felt shy. She worried that people would stare at her or ask too many questions. After breakfast, Sofia wanted to go outside and play in the garden like she always did, but she hesitated. The warm sun felt nice, but she was afraid it might make her allergy worse. She stood near the door, unsure what to do. Clover hopped next to her and looked up with gentle eyes, as if telling her it was okay to take things slowly. Sofia nodded and decided to sit by the window instead, watching the flowers sway in the breeze. While sitting there, Sofia started thinking about how quickly things had changed. Just a day ago she was laughing and playing without a care. Now, a small allergy had made her feel worried and unsure of herself. She realized that even small problems could feel big when they affect how we look or feel inside. She placed her hands on her lap and told herself that this was only temporary. Her face would heal and things would return to normal. Later that day, a gentle caregiver came to check on Sofia. She spoke kindly and explained that face allergies could take time to heal and that scratching or touching the face too much could make it worse. Sofia listened carefully, even though it was hard not to touch her itchy skin. She promised to be patient and follow the advice given to her. Hearing calm words made her feel safer and more hopeful. Sofia spent the afternoon resting, reading storybooks, and drinking warm liquids. At first, she felt bored and restless, but soon she realized that resting was helping her body feel better. She noticed the itching was not as strong as before. This small improvement made her smile. It reminded her that healing happens little by little, not all at once. As evening came, Sofia walked through the halls slowly. She still felt shy, but she decided not to hide her face. When she passed others, some smiled kindly and some simply waved. No one laughed or stared like she had feared. This made her heart feel lighter. She understood that people often notice our feelings more than our appearance. That night, Sofia sat on her bed and gently applied the soothing cream again. She looked at her reflection and spoke softly to herself. She reminded herself that she was still the same person inside, even if her face looked different for a while. She realized that being kind to herself was just as important as being kind to others. As she lay down to sleep, Sofia thought about how this experience was teaching her patience. She learned that sometimes we need to slow down, take care of ourselves, and accept help. She hugged her pillow and felt grateful for everyone who supported her without making her feel uncomfortable. The itching was still there, but her heart felt calmer. Before closing her eyes, Sofia made a small promise to herself. She promised not to feel ashamed of things she could not control. She promised to treat herself gently and give her body the time it needed to heal. With that comforting thought, she slowly drifted into sleep, feeling hopeful that tomorrow would be a little better than today. Sofia woke up feeling uncomfortable. Her face was itchy and red, and tiny bumps had appeared near her cheeks and forehead. She ran to the mirror and gasped softly. "Oh no, what's happening?" she whispered. Clover hopped beside her, tilting his head curiously, sensing that something was wrong. Sofia gently touched her cheeks and felt the irritation, which made her frown. She didn't know why her face had reacted this way, and the uncertainty made her feel a little worried. She decided to tell Amber and James, hoping they could help her figure out what to do. "Amber, James, look," she said, showing her face. Amber stepped closer, examining her cheeks carefully, while James frowned with concern. "It looks like an allergy, Sofia," Amber said gently. "Don't worry too much, we will figure out how to make you feel better." James nodded. "Yes. Let's find out what caused this and fix it quickly," he said with a reassuring smile. Sofia felt slightly relieved, knowing her friends were there to support her. Sofia's mind was racing with questions. Why had this happened? Had she eaten something new? Was it something in the castle garden? Could it be her skincare potion? Every possibility made her anxious. Clover hopped on her shoulder, nuzzling her cheek gently, and Sofia giggled softly. His presence comforted her, reminding her that she didn't have to face this alone. She took a deep breath and decided to approach the situation calmly, knowing that panicking wouldn't help. Amber suggested that they visit the castle healer to understand the allergy better. He will know exactly what to do and what is safe for you, Amber said. Sofia nodded, feeling a little nervous about seeing the healer. She had never had a face allergy before, and the thought of remedies and treatments made her curious but also slightly anxious. James held her hand gently, offering reassurance. "It's okay, Sofia. We'll be right here with you," he said softly. Clover twitched his nose in agreement, and Sofia smiled, feeling braver. As they walked through the castle corridors, Sofia noticed how warm and caring Amber and James were being. They spoke softly, distracting her from worry and making her feel supported. Clover hopped at her feet, keeping her company, and Sofia felt a little lighter. She realized that having friends and family who cared made any problem easier to face. Even though her face was uncomfortable, Sofia felt strong, knowing she had people she could trust and who would help her through this challenge. When they arrived at the healer's room, the space was calm and welcoming. The healer greeted Sofia with a kind smile, noticing the slight redness and bumps on her face. "Sofia, it looks like a mild face allergy," the healer said gently. "We can treat it and make sure it doesn't get worse. Allergies are common and they can happen to anyone, even princesses." Sofia listened carefully, feeling a little relieved. The healer explained that sometimes allergies could be caused by food, environmental factors, or even new lotions and creams. Understanding the cause was important to prevent future problems. The healer prepared a soothing cream and some gentle herbal remedies. Sofia watched as the mixture was carefully applied to her cheeks and forehead. The cool sensation immediately relieved some of the itching and redness, and she sighed with relief. Clover hopped closer, sniffing the cream curiously, and Sofia giggled. "It feels better already, Clover," she whispered, gently stroking his soft fur. The healer smiled, explaining that the cream would help calm the irritation and that Sofia should avoid touching her face too much. While the cream worked, Sofia sat with Amber and James, learning about what might have caused the allergy. They discussed what food she had eaten recently, what she had touched in the garden, and if she had tried any new potions or creams. It was a learning moment, and Sofia realized that paying attention to what her body reacted to was important. Clover hopped onto her lap, giving her comfort, and Sofia felt a sense of calm wash over her. Even though she had been worried earlier, now she felt empowered with knowledge and care. After some time, the redness began to fade and the bumps became smaller. Sofia felt much more comfortable and could smile without irritation. She thanked the healer for helping her. "Thank you so much. I feel better now," Sofia said softly. Amber and James nodded, happy to see her relief. Clover twitched his nose and hopped around joyfully, celebrating her recovery. Sofia realized that taking care of herself and seeking help when needed was an important part of staying healthy and happy. Sofia spent the rest of the afternoon relaxing and letting her skin recover fully. She avoided scratching her face and focused on activities that made her happy. She drew pictures, played gentle games with Clover, and talked with Amber and James about other fun adventures they could have. She noticed that even though she had been uncomfortable earlier, this experience had taught her patience, awareness, and the importance of listening to her body. Clover hopped onto the windowsill, watching birds outside, and Sofia felt content, enjoying the calm moment. By evening, Sofia's face had returned almost to normal. The itching had gone, the redness was fading, and the bumps were no longer noticeable. She reflected on the day and realized how brave she had been. Even though she had been worried and uncomfortable, she had faced the challenge, learned how to take care of herself, and sought help without panicking. Clover hopped onto her lap, and Sofia hugged him tightly, feeling proud of herself. Sofia also understood the importance of awareness. She now knew that certain foods, lotions, or environmental factors could affect her skin. By paying attention, she could prevent future reactions. Clover twitched his nose and curled up beside her, making Sofia laugh softly. The day had been full of lessons, but it ended with comfort, love, and a sense of accomplishment. She realized that being careful and learning about herself was just as important as being brave. As night fell, Sofia prepared for bed. She gently washed her face, applied a light moisturizer suggested by the healer, and looked at herself in the mirror. Her skin looked healthy and her heart felt calm. Clover hopped onto her bed, snuggling close. Sofia whispered softly, "Thank you, Clover, for staying with me today. You made everything better." The little bunny twitched his ears happily, and Sofia smiled, feeling grateful for the support she had received. Sofia understood that even small challenges like a face allergy could teach valuable lessons. Patience, care, support from friends and family, and listening to her body were all important. She felt proud of herself for handling the situation calmly and responsibly. Clover nuzzled her hand one last time as she settled into bed, and Sofia closed her eyes, feeling safe, loved, and ready to rest after a day full of learning and courage. Sofia woke up feeling much better. Her face was calm, smooth, and free from the redness and bumps that had worried her the day before. She stretched her arms and smiled softly, feeling a sense of relief and pride. Clover hopped onto her bed, giving her a gentle nuzzle, and Sofia giggled as she stroked his soft fur. She remembered the discomfort she had felt yesterday and how worried she had been, but now, with her face feeling normal again, she realized how strong and brave she had been in facing the situation. She went to the mirror and looked carefully at her reflection. Her skin was clear, her cheeks had regained their natural glow, and she felt confident again. Clover hopped beside her, watching intently, and Sofia laughed. She touched her face gently, grateful that the healer's remedies had worked so well. She thought about all the steps she had taken, telling Amber and James, visiting the healer, applying the soothing cream, and being patient. Each step had helped her feel better, and she understood the importance of listening to her body and taking care of herself. Amber and James came into her room with bright smiles. "Good morning, Sofia. You look amazing," Amber said warmly. James added, "Yes, your face looks perfect and you seem so happy. We're proud of you for handling everything so well." Sofia felt a glow of joy in her chest. Their encouragement made her feel even stronger and more confident. Clover hopped onto her lap, twitched his little nose, and Sofia giggled, feeling the warmth of their love and support. Sofia decided to spend the morning reflecting on what had happened. She realized that even though the allergy had been uncomfortable, it had taught her important lessons. She had learned to be aware of her surroundings, careful with what she touched or ate, and to take immediate action if something felt wrong. More importantly, she learned the value of asking for help. By telling Amber and James and visiting the healer, she had ensured that her problem was addressed quickly and safely. Clover hopped around excitedly, as if sharing in her happiness and understanding, and Sofia smiled at his playful energy. After breakfast, Sofia explored the castle garden, enjoying the fresh morning air. She noticed how wonderful it felt to run her fingers gently over her smooth, healthy skin without any irritation. The flowers glistened with dew, the sunlight sparkled on the leaves, and the soft breeze carried a sense of peace. Clover hopped beside her, occasionally sniffing the flowers or chasing a butterfly. Sofia laughed at his playful antics and realized that the world seemed brighter and more enjoyable when she felt healthy and comfortable. Sofia thought about how important it was to pay attention to small details in her daily routine. She decided to create a list of things to avoid that might trigger allergies in the future. Certain foods, new lotions, and some garden plants she wasn't familiar with. By being careful and mindful, she could prevent another reaction and stay healthy. Clover twitched his ears as if agreeing, and Sofia giggled. She felt empowered knowing that she could take control of her well-being and make smart choices. Later in the day, Sofia shared her experience with her friends. She explained what had happened, how it felt to have her face itchy and red, and what steps she had taken to feel better. Her friends listened carefully, nodding and asking questions. They admired her bravery and patience. Sofia realized that sharing her experience not only helped her reflect on it but also taught others the importance of awareness and care. Clover hopped from one friend to another, making everyone smile, and Sofia felt proud of her small community of supportive friends. As the sun began to set, Sofia sat on the castle balcony, Clover curled up beside her. She looked at the colorful sky, feeling calm and happy. She thought about the journey she had taken, from waking up with an uncomfortable face to feeling healthy, confident, and proud. The experience had been a challenge, but it had shown her the importance of bravery, patience, and seeking help when needed. Clover twitched his nose happily, and Sofia stroked his fur, feeling comforted and content. Sofia also reflected on the emotions she had experienced. At first, she had been anxious and worried, but by staying calm and trusting her friends and the healer, she had overcome her fear. She realized that being brave didn't mean never feeling scared. It meant taking action and making good choices even when something felt uncertain or uncomfortable. Clover hopped onto her shoulder, giving her a gentle nuzzle, and Sofia laughed softly. She felt grateful for the support and love that had helped her through this experience. That evening, Sofia prepared for bed, washing her face gently and applying the light moisturizer suggested by the healer. She looked in the mirror one last time and smiled, feeling confident and proud. Her skin looked healthy, her cheeks were soft, and her heart felt light. Clover curled up beside her on the bed, and Sofia hugged him tightly. She felt safe, loved, and ready to rest after a day filled with lessons, care, and bravery. Before closing her eyes, Sofia whispered softly, "Thank you, Amber, James, and Clover, for helping me and staying with me. I'm glad I was brave and careful." Clover twitched his little ears and Sofia giggled. She felt a sense of peace knowing that she had handled the challenge well and learned important lessons about health, patience, and self-care. The day had been full of small adventures, and each step had brought her closer to understanding her own strength and confidence. As she drifted into sleep, Sofia dreamed of new adventures, knowing that she could face challenges with courage and care. She felt grateful for the love around her, the support of friends and family, and the guidance of the healer. The experience of her face allergy had taught her that even uncomfortable moments could lead to learning, growth, and pride. Clover snuggled beside her, and Sofia smiled softly in her sleep, ready for tomorrow's adventures with a brave heart and a happy spirit. By the next morning, Sofia felt completely fine, with her face smooth, glowing, and free from irritation. She skipped to breakfast, feeling energetic and joyful. Amber and James greeted her with cheerful smiles, and Clover hopped beside her excitedly. Sofia felt proud of herself, confident in knowing that she had handled the situation responsibly, learned preventive measures, and embraced care and awareness. The experience had not only healed her skin but had strengthened her courage and understanding of self-care. Sofia knew that she could handle challenges like this in the future, whether they were small or big. She smiled at her reflection one last time, feeling empowered and happy. Clover hopped playfully around her feet, and Sofia laughed, ready to enjoy her day with joy, confidence, and the lessons she had learned from this experience.